Actually, you know what? No. On the way over here, I was telling myself I want to do this. Because on the way over here, I heard something very interesting. And I want to bring it to you. It's from Joe Rogan. He was talking to Tom Green. Not sure who that is, but he's some guy that lives in a van. And Joe Rogan said something interesting. And it really made me just like, You know, and I kind of want to bring it to you and kind of get your reaction off it. Since you're a professional reactionist.
Checking 1 2 3 1 2 3 checking.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to your favorite podcast, The Sit Down. I'm your host, aka OMG. It's The Sit Down Podcast, and I have a great guest for you. This is one of those special ones. I know that because it's one of the ones where it was just like I saw her shit on Instagram, and this is the first time I've done this. Because normally guests either reach out to me. That's pretty much, if your guests reach out to me, or I ask like my friends to come on. You know, so normally when it's somebody that I don't know comes on, it's because they approached me. You know, so normally when I ask people, it's normally it's either like people I've already known or I haven't seen in a while, so I've known them. You know what I mean? But this is the first guest I have went out and asked to be on the show that I did not know. Sorry. And that's a reason for it, because I think there's something going on over here with my guest that's special. We'll get into that in the show, and you'll know more about that with the show. But before we get there, I have to introduce her. She runs AudicyVisuals. I call her Audicy. I think that's a great name.
A lot of people do.
I call her Audicy. It feels right. You know,
you're not the only one, bro.
Yeah, it feels right to call you Audicy. You know, but she runs the page AudicyVisuals. It's just AudicyVisuals, right?
Yep.
Okay, AudicyVisuals on Instagram. So go check that out. But her name's Monet. Monte. My bad. Monte. So I welcome AudicyVisuals, aka Monte.
There you go.
Onto the podcast, onto the sit down. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great today. This is my first time being in front of someone's camera. I'm usually behind doing interviews and stuff like that. I mean, I do reviews and reactions, but that's just me in the room by myself and a camera, you know? So I'm feeling good. I used to be terribly shy. Like, I would never think I would be on YouTube or any of that as a child, like painfully shy. But doing AudicyVisuals, no one knew who was behind the page. So it didn't really have like a home feel to it.
It kind of gave that comfort.
Yeah. So a couple of my good friends were like, you got to get on that camera. I was like, no way, bro. I was like, this is not about me. This is about the artist. I don't want to get on. But I finally did it. So.
And it's just easier and easier, huh?
I mean, the first time I did it, I was like, this is great. This is easy. And I didn't know if it was just because it was just me in the room.
Right.
But, you know, I wasn't overly insecure when I watched the video or anything. And after that, they just flowing in.
Yeah.
I have no problem now. But this is my first time, you know, being on someone else's camera. So I might be a little nervous, but I'm good.
I mean, how's that feel? I'm still waiting for an invite on someone else's show, by the way, guys, if you know. Because I have never done it either, so... How is that, like, is it just like because you're not in control? Is like, where's the nervousness coming from? I'm asking for personal when eventually I'm on someone else's.
No, it's not about the control. It's just being nervous in general, being on someone else's camera. I guess maybe you're right. The control.
The control, huh?
Yeah. Or it not being in control of what you're gonna ask me, not being prepared on what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense because I know because I'm trying to construct like a podcast takeover. So basically, where somebody else comes on. And the two things could happen because I want people to like see what it's like, you know, see what it's like of like like an entrepreneur or content creator. You know what I mean? It's all just like on you, but I want people to experience that, you know, hopefully it inspires them to do their own thing. But what I'm doing for the podcast takeovers, I either want them to come on and like invite their own guest, or they can be with just one of their friends. Cause maybe they wanted to start a podcast, like, you know, cause everyone kind of has that idea where like, I think me and my friends could do a podcast. So I'm handing out like you can come on and try it out. See if you guys are actually good at it. See if you actually like it.
I saw that, bro. That's smart.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get that so people like can like see what it's like, see if they even like test out an idea or if they really want to do something like this, they can have the chance to try it out. Or they can come on and host me, where they're the one that introduces and everything, and they have an outline, and they have kind of something they want to talk to me about, and I'm kind of just a guest on my own show.
That's awesome. I
so,
like that idea.
Yeah, so that's why I'm waiting to see, like, I'm preparing myself just in case if I'm a guest on my own show. You know what I mean? So I'm like, am I going to be nervous? I don't know, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, am I just going to, like, sit back, like...
It's different. Yeah, it's definitely different.
So AudicyVisual. First off, I gotta ask. Actually, no, no. On the way over here, I was telling myself I want to do this, because on the way over here, I heard something very interesting, and I want to bring it to you. It's from Joe Rogan. He was talking to Tom Green. Not sure who that is, but he's some guy that lives in a van. And Joe Rogan said something interesting, and it really made me just like, and I kind of want to bring it to you and kind of get your reaction off it, since you're a professional reactionist.
Yeah. I don't know about professional, bro, but I'm working on it.
Reactionist, that's the title.
There we go. I like that.
But so what it was is he's like, we're not only ourselves, we are a cultivation of everyone we meet and interact with. What do you think about that?
I think that's very real.
You think that?
Yeah. We're not, because we go through life experiences, we meet people, they give us ideas, opinions, and we add that all together, and we become ourselves. So that's real. I've never thought about it.
I've never thought about that.
But that's
either,
deep.
huh?
That's real.
Yeah.
We take little parts and pieces and bits of everybody that's in our lives, friends, family, people we watch on TV, people we listen to in hip-hop. So, yeah, that's real.
It kind of shapes and filters who and how you look at the world.
Very true.
You know what I mean? Because if you grew up in, like, a certain way of thinking based upon the people around you, you're going to even if you don't take that type of thinking, you know about it. And so you can, like, filter, you can be objective in those kind of areas now. You know what I mean? So it's like, even if you're like, I don't agree with this, I don't really relate to this, but at the same time, it's like, you do, like, know it, though. You know, so you can look from the world from that point, even if you don't agree.
You know what's interesting about that? So I grew up with a predominantly Republican family, so I had more conservative views. As I got older, like 18 through, early 20s, I didn't care about politics at all.
Right.
I met my fiance, Hispanic woman, family's from Mexico. Mm-hmm. She told me about all their struggles with coming over and stuff, so I have completely different views. And I'm more on the Democrat side.
Right.
So that's 100.
You've kind of switched over a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think, though, and I didn't have politics planned in here, but I think, like, it's kind of like a weird thing. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this right. But I think, like, as a person, you should not, like, politics-wise, you should not, like, be one thing always.
Absolutely.
And
that's how a lot of people are. Yes.
Yeah. Because I feel like you lose your power as the public versus the government.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they don't have to, like, worry about you anymore. They got you locked in.
Yep.
Yep. So.
What do they call it? Fence rider, where you have, like, views from both sides and your own views and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think in the middle is where you should be most of the
Absolutely.
time. Like, and it should really come down to, like, a few things every year, and then sometimes you might be Republican, sometimes you might be Democrat, because I honestly too, it's like, it depends on where you're at in life.
Absolutely.
That's also a thing. But I'm not trying to get political on this episode. I don't know.
Yeah, no, not at all. That was like the perfect fit.
Yeah.
And it's not really politics for me. It's like character and.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really about politics and government and stuff like that. It's more of like the struggle and what they've been through and what politics does to that, Mm-hmm. So.
It's crazy.
It's not really politics. I'm not really into politics like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not either, because politics is it's just so...
It gets ugly.
It's so dividing and polarizing.
Absolutely.
For no reason. We're all on the same team. Why are we dividing up like that?
They want us to. It's the media, bro.
Yeah, dude. And we're part of it.
They're doing a great job right now.
We're part of it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We're part of the media now.
Yep.
We're just not mainstream outlets.
That's true.
Just different types.
I think we're bringing people together, not dividing, though. So
we're trying.
Kudos to us.
Definitely trying. And so that brings me to, that's a perfect segue, because the one thing I was talking about earlier about what was special about you and what I saw in you is your overall positivity about how you take things. You know, because I watched a few of your videos. I obviously the D Banks one is how I found you. And the first thing I noticed when I watched the D Banks one was that you just like really like reacted to it, listened to it, but then you didn't really like critique it. You know, which I think is okay. Which I think, because a lot of people think when they review they have to give some type of like critique or whatever. You know, which it's hard to do. You know, especially if you know the guy.
I would say it's more of a reaction than a review.
Yeah, exactly. And I just like that you kind of come at it like with a lot of positivity. You know, because people need, especially like us, you know, like we're trying to make it. You know, we're just doing what we love. We're trying to put out content for people to enjoy, and there's already enough negativity around the world. You know what I mean? So like, especially like with us, we already get enough like kind of critiques and criticism and stuff. So it's always great to get that like affirmation that like what you're doing is great.
Absolutely.
You know,
and that motivates you to do better and go harder.
Yeah.
So a lot of people give me shit for that, for just being positive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is my platform, bro. I mean, if you guys want to critique and do stuff like that, I mean, you can start your own. But I'm here just to be positive. I've always been that person in life, motivating and pushing. And like I say, no one starts off with Eminem's flow. You know?
Yeah, no one.
So, yeah, everybody starts somewhere. And it's usually the artists and the rappers that are real lyrical and real hip-hop giving me the shit.
Yeah.
But to me, I look at it as art.
Yeah.
Rapping is like an art, so you know?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to it, add your own little twist, and that's not my business. I just want to pick out what's good and let you know what's good so you can keep going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like how when music kind of got all like with Trippie Redd, and because I know when the Trippie Redd like era came out, the music like the hip hop kind of changed.
Definitely took a shift.
You had like Lil Pump, you had like all these different all these different new sounds that are being called hip hop, but they really aren't traditional like hip hop. You know, but it's like that's their hip hop. You know, that's how they want it. That's how they want to do it.
Yeah,
you know?
just
And
like art. Yeah.
And I think what's great about how you do it is like you can listen to it, and then even if you didn't like it, let's just say even if you didn't like it, you'd be like, you know what, I did like this part.
That's exactly what I do. I'll take the one thing I do like and push that.
Mm-hmm. And I think what that really does is it helps you like understand, you know, and also helps other people understand, you know, because like people can always just be like, so like again, like such a hater mentality, such a negative mentality, and like it gets easier to be negative, you know, but then when you see something positive and you're saying something and they'll be like, I never even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they might revisit it or they might not, but then you did put that thought in their head. And that's all you can do.
Yeah.
You know, we're not here to change anyone's minds about anything.
Absolutely not, yeah.
You know, we're here to inspire and hopefully invoke some type of change. Hopefully, maybe. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but the rappers that are, you know, they're real good, real lyrical. They've been doing it for a while. I get where they're coming from. So on my platform, I share all 805 artists. I don't care who you are, how long you've been doing it, how often you put out a song. None of that. I just put it out and I let, you know, my followers pick who they like, don't like, and then you can go dig into the rest of their music.
Right.
But so the artists that have been doing it for a while that are serious about it are like, when you post so much, it's just like washed up. There's too many, and you don't have room for the ones that are really doing it and consistent with it and stuff like that. So I see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But this is my platform, and this is how I'm doing it, and you know.
And people, I mean, and it's cool too when you do it like that. When you take a stance on it like that, I think two things happen. Like you kind of weed out the people that really didn't, weren't like about that, and then they leave, and that's fine. But then you also attract the people that you do want.
Yeah.
Following you.
Positive people, yeah.
Exactly. And so that's what taking a stance is like. Sometimes, like, especially I know, like in the audio industry, like it's like not a good thing, you know, because I remember I was like talking to this guy and we were thinking about starting a podcast together and like we're gonna co-host and stuff because eventually I want like 2 shows to kind of run one completely different from the other. And we were talking and kind of spitballing and stuff, and then I shot him this idea where kind of like we kind of find a place where we're at opposing sides, where he's standing on one thing and I stand on the other. And then he instantly didn't like it because he was just like, oh, what that does is like you completely like cut the audience in half. And I'm like why though? You have to take a stance on something though.
Yeah.
You can't just be floating around or else people can never relate to you.
Exactly.
Because no one just floats around. People have stances.
Yeah. I agree.
So how long have you been how long did you so how'd you even find what was it when did you start doing reviews, reactions? When all that is even start?
So let's see. I'd say about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now. Mm. Do you know who the Boy West Coast is? Mm. Okay, he's from the 805. He made this song. It came really popular on TikTok, and it kind of blew up.
Right.
Well, before that, he hit me up for do pictures for his mixtape.
Okay.
So I went and did that. I fell in love with them. There's lowriders, guns, and it was just a lot different than, family photography. And I was like, this is cool. This is unique. This is dope. So I fell in love with it. So I started hitting up all the artists in my area and just doing pictures for them, all different styles and stuff. And then I was like, you know what? Photos are just boring. It's not enough. Rappers need videos,
Yeah.
So they're not really going to hit you up for pictures too much. And if they need a picture for a mixtape, they need one.
Yeah.
But I was like, I love dealing with artists. I've always been really supportive of local music, even though a lot of people aren't. They're like, that's trash. I mean, you have to blow up for people to really start supporting,
Yeah.
And I've always been supportive. So I was like, let me interview someone. So he's kind of like my uncle. He grew up with my mom and my dad, but he hit the Billboard charts in 2001. Mm. So I was like, let me interview him. I interviewed him. Everybody loved it. So I just started doing interviews. And then I'm a person that's always thinking of something new. And I was like, let me go look at Complex and Genius and see the different videos they have and add my own twist to it. So I started doing reviews, reactions, lyrical breakdowns. I do hit or miss where I bring an artist out and I play 10 local artists for them and they say if it's a hit or a miss. And that gets people collabing and stuff like that. So I just keep going with my thoughts and, and it's just me right now. I really need a team. If I had a team
to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a team right now. It's just me. So I hope to take it up another level and get a couple team members and stuff like that.
What would the this is a job board right now, Indeed.com.
Right.
No, but what would be some of the things you're looking for, though?
Someone that can market for me. Mm-hmm. Videographer. I'm far from a videographer. I just put the camera up on the pod, and that's it,
Yeah, exactly.
But I'd like a videographer to get some behind the scenes, hit different angles on the interview.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm just putting it up, but I like when they zoom in people's faces, hit different angles and stuff like that. So really, videographer, someone that can market for me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Takes some time off your plate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, the social media itself is a job.
Oh, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, it's a lot to stay on. Because I know a lot of times when I'm, doing this, it's like, oh, dang, I got to cut that clip. I got to cut that clip. I got to cut that. But it's like, you got to re-download stuff, cut it. You know what I mean? And then you have to make it, presentable or, you know what I mean?
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because also, too, I don't know if you know this, just to help you out, but how I do it, I just do it on iMovie right now. And because it's my first time, this is with the camera. Hey, guys. It's the first time I'm messing with it. And so what I've learned is you can create almost 3 to 4 angles based on just on that.
Okay.
And so I don't know how you do it on other softwares. I just do it on iMovie because I'm a basic bitch. But if you can cut scenes, and then when you cut the scene, you crop. So you can create 3 different angles. So I can create an angle where it's just cropped on me and I'm just talking, and then crop it back to you. So you have to cut the scene. So that's 2 angles right there, but it's 1 angle.
Okay.
And then you cut back for the wide shot, the pan, and then you can zoom back in, zoom over here, and then you're just cropping though. It's like manipulation basically. You crop it where you're just seeing me talk right now, and then when I pass it back to you, it's cropped onto you now.
Very helpful, because I thought it had to be a couple different cameras and one zoomed in, one zoomed out, That's how much I don't know, bro.
Eventually you want to do that. Yeah, because that's the best, right? But that's a lot of money. It's a lot more time. It's a lot more stuff to download. Mm-hmm. Because now you have if you had, say, 3 cameras, that's 3 separate audios or videos you have to download. And then that's a lot of downloading, you know. Video takes a lot of memory.
True.
So with just that one angle, you can create at least 3, because you can do 1, 2, and then you can be like in a closer one where it kind of makes it looks like brings us together, and then you pan back. So it's like 4 angles. Yeah. Off just one mic. So just
makes sense. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I got you.
Definitely.
Gotta spread the knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
The thing about that too is like, people are like won't share that type of stuff.
Yeah, they don't want other people to shine.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, if you're great, you're gonna be great, and no matter what, you know what I mean? Like no matter, like, say if I try to do what you did, I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, I might be able to get close, but still not like you.
Same. I feel the same about you, bro.
Yeah.
Interviews and podcasts are completely different.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was trying to like, this is not gonna be like an interview. It's gonna be more of a conversation. Yeah, I do have questions. Yeah, I do want to like talk about certain things, but that's more so for the audience, you know, so they get something out of it.
Exactly.
You know, and you're gonna see me looking at my phone, but I forgot to set up the hotspot on here, so I don't have my outline on here.
Oh, bummer. Okay, yeah.
That slipped I always forget something. This is why I need a team.
Serious?
I always forget. It's like I got the.
Nah, bro, you need a little notepad.
I got the set
and write it all down.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, and then it's just a lot going on when you're doing it.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of answered 2 questions in one, because I was gonna ask you, like how you connected with so many artists, like, because you seem like, when I look at your page, it looks like you're really like embedded, at least in the 805 over here, with a lot of artists. You seem really connected, and like I kind of wanted to know more, like how'd you get so like connected with everybody?
So it started in Lompoc. I mean, we have a lot of artists in Lompoc, and I know a lot of them. And I've always supported them. Mm-hmm. So that was easy when I first started, you know. I just started sharing Lompoc artists. Mm. But as you do that, you'll post like a Lompoc artist that has a artist from a different city featured. So you post their music, and then they add you, and they're like, thanks, bro. And then you guys get in a conversation, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But so I'll think I hit all the artists. I'm like, man, I got like 100 artists on my list now. 2 more pop up from here, two more for over there. It just keeps going. Yeah. A lot of people do it now. It's a lot easier than it was back in the day to get the equipment and to make music.
Right. Yeah. Because I was wondering about that too. Because that's similar to my experience with podcasting and guests and stuff.
Snowballs.
Yeah, it just snowballs, because like you do one guest, and you're gauging with whoever their followers are, and then you might get 1, 2, 3 people from their followers like, hey, I want to be on the show too, and then they hit you up, and then, you know, so it's
and I try to build actual genuine relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's some people I've been talking to probably a year on there. We've never met, but it feels like we know each other well.
I mean, that's other than going viral, that's the other way to be really like.
It's not about the followers. It's about the connections you have with the followers you do have.
Connections and community. Because at the end of the day, it's still humans. And we thrive on connections with people.
Exactly.
We thrive on relationships. We thrive on having community and feeling like you're a part of something.
I see other music pages. They have 20,000 followers. I'm at like 2,100 right now. Small. Their engagement is nothing compared to mine. And that's from,
Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
It's from the connections.
Exactly.
Not just mass followers that, have no connection with you. They're not going to comment. They're not going to engage. Mm-hmm. So I've learned that.
So that's kind of how you built it so far.
Same with artists. Artists think they got to have a lot of followers on Spotify or wherever. But if you build actual real fans, say you have like 100 fans and they listen to your music 10 times a day, a song 10 times a day, that's a lot of streams. Yeah. You don't need a huge following.
Exactly, yeah. That's true. And that's actually funny, because the first person to bring that to me was a comedian named Trevor Wallace. I don't know, you might know him. He always goes viral on YouTube. I don't know him. I don't know. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But I've listened to his podcast, and it's like a goofy podcast. It's called Stiff Socks. And I like to listen to people I kind of look up to on podcasts, because every now and then they'll drop gems.
Absolutely.
They'll drop gems and give you kind of a look behind the curtain. I don't know if they know that they're doing it. They might, because when you're talking for hours and stuff, you just kind of like just started going,
Yeah.
And I was listening to his, and he was talking about, he's he kind of did the math. He broke down the math. He's like realistically, you need about 100 people to really fuck with you if you to make like decent money off anything. He's like, because if you sell a tee, and you sell it for like $20, and you have 100 people that fuck with you, the 100 people buy it. Like, do the math. You know what I mean? And you're able to do that like consistently, and you have like, you know what I mean? All you need is like 100 people that really fuck with you and that will like, you know what I mean? Like really support you, and that's all you really need. And more than that, you're just, you're playing with house money at that point.
That's why you got to build real connections with the people that do follow you. I don't care if it's 10 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's also another thing is people are like feel really like entitled. They're like, oh, this video is fire. Like, why didn't I get like all these views and stuff? But it's like, why should you though?
There's so many artists out there.
Exactly.
And, if you're not unique and something doesn't pop, it's about the connections.
Exactly. Because my thing is too is like even if I get like, especially when I'm starting YouTube, even if I get like 10 views, I'm like, dope. Like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's 10 people that took the time to like,
seriously.
Look at it,
yeah.
And like that's cool to me.
And artists think they can put out a hot ass track, hot visuals, and just like drop it and not put any footwork, and they're gonna get a bunch of views and engagement. But it's not like that way.
Mm-mm.
You got to get out there. But I noticed with social media, followers is a vanity thing, and people take you more serious when you have a lot more followers.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah, it's a reality of the situation. It helps you get into doors.
It does.
For sure.
And there's artists that I've followed from the beginning when I had 300 followers. They didn't follow me back.
Yeah. Now
that I'm creating some noise and buzz, they'll follow me now. So,
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a
crazy how it works.
World in that sense.
Yeah. Our really self-worth on social media is our followers.
Yeah.
And our views.
Have you ever seen that Black Mirror episode, Nosedive?
No.
No? You should definitely check it out. So do you know are you familiar with Black Mirror is?
No.
The show? So Black Mirror is a show on Netflix. I don't want to say. I was gonna say I think it's a Netflix original, but I don't think so. But I don't know. So basically, it's like, have you ever heard of Twilight Zone?
Mm-mm.
Never heard of Twilight Zone either. Okay, so Twilight
Zone. I don't
watch
like TV, bro, at all. I don't watch TV at all.
Okay, well, I'll put some game on you. You need to watch. You need to at least watch this episode.
Okay,
it'll be worth it. And so basically, Black Mirror is it's a futuristic show. So they take takes. So most of the time they do technology enhanced stuff. So basically the settings always kind of futuristic, and it's always something to do with an advancement of technology within society and how does that look. So for example, I'm not going to give away Nosedive, but one of my other favorite episodes, I think it's called Remember Me? I don't know what it's called. It's in the first season, episode 2. But basically it was the technology was you could, in your mind, you had this chip, and you can fast forward anything and everything that you see. So for example, if I was to leave here after this and I got home, I would be able to play back everything my eyes saw, slow it down, speed it up, zoom in on certain things. So if I was watching here, I could zoom in on these water bottles, even though I was looking at you, but it's still in my vision.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to do that. So that's kind of that technology, but they always kind of have a dark twist, to it. And Nosedive, it has to do with your follower count and ratings and things like that. So it's basically the phone was enhanced in life, and shit gets wild.
Sounds very interesting.
It really is. I think honestly, I feel like you love it. It's called Nosedive on Black Mirror.
Okay.
If anything else, watch that one.
I got
if you want to watch the rest, they're worth it to me. But
I'll let you know how I feel about it. Yeah, sounds crazy.
Yeah. So it's because it has to do with a lot of what we're saying, but it's a little more real in that sense. And also too, they're standalone episodes. So if you just jumped into a random one, you don't need to watch the other ones.
Okay.
Because they're all their own story.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
What was else? I had another thing. I keep going on these dashes. Oh yeah, that's something else I wanted to know. How would you describe your interview style?
I definitely got to work on it. when I first started doing interviews, I had no clue. So I asked, his name's Caponiac the Mac, the one that hit the Billboard charts in 2001. I had like a list of, I don't know, 10 questions. But if the artists don't talk very much, that can go by in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy shit, I got to come up with some more. And then if they don't talk much, so I have this one artist with Billy Ray. He's not big on the camera. Mm-hmm. So our interview was literally 5 minutes. And I was like, man, I got to come up with at least 25, 30 questions and just go with the flow. But really, I sit there and I read off a phone and I go one by one and ask the questions. Sometimes I'll add more stuff into it, but it's really scripted right now. Yeah. But I'm getting better at working on it. But I would like to be able to do this and just sit down and talk to someone.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of nervous, even though I'm not on the camera. And, I'll have the 10 questions and I read them one by one. But it kind of gets awkward because if someone brings up something that I didn't expect them to talk about, instead of going into it further, I cut it off and I go to the next question.
You're like, oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Exactly. So I definitely got to work on that, but I'm getting better. Yeah.
What makes you think you're so nervous on like the give and take of a conversation rather than
I don't know.
Like, what's the challenge for you?
I've always been like I told you, I've always been really shy. I cared what people think, or so that I guess that's a big one. Even though I'm not in front of the camera.
Makes sense.
But I'm more comfortable, believe it or not, on the other side in this podcast than when I'm asking the questions.
Oh, really?
It's weird.
Well, because there's a lot more to it, like, because like right now it's like when like stuff like slows down, you're trying to think like, okay, what's the next thing?
Exactly. You got to be good at filler in conversations.
Yeah, I think that's my gift.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's like what I'm good at. Nothing else though.
Yeah.
Everything else I've just been learning. That's why I chose this style of podcast though, because I know like it's something I don't have to like research every week. I don't have to be like an expert at. I don't have to like, I just show up and be me and have a few questions, know about the person a little bit. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely do my research on the rappers and stuff before.
No, yeah. Well, I do that, but that's fun. It's not like I'm trying to learn about a subject.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I'll listen to some of their music and
like,
stuff like that.
Intake
it's fun.
Them pretty much. You just intake who they are.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But so with the Billy Ray, I would just ask him a question. He would answer yes or no pretty much. And like I didn't have any filler conversations or anything. So it was literally 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, all right, I got to work on this. Yeah.
Well, some tips if you don't mind me giving you some tips.
Not at all, bro.
Normally I think that like whenever I run into like, all right, what am I gonna say next? I kind of just like, you kind of go off like if you're feeling frozen, if you're feeling like, oh fuck, I don't know what to say, or what was the next question, because I don't like looking at my phone, I like just taking, that's why I like having it on here so I can just take peeks.
Yeah.
Like okay, and normally what I do is I'll take like you kind of take the end of what they say, or take something that like you're familiar with that they said, and then you open up about yourself or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, so, and then because when you open up, because you don't want them just to give you everything, you got to give the person something else. It's a given. It's like a dance. Conversation's a dance.
That's interesting, yeah, because when I go into it, I'm like, it's all about the artist.
Yeah, but it's about you too, because they're sitting and talking with you, and it's like you have to give them something as well if they want to give you something. It's just like it's a waltz. It's like, but you also have to listen to them, so it's like part of like it too is like shutting up. The space in between the words is also important.
Yeah, to know when to, speak up or be quiet and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a skill, bro. You got a skill, definitely.
Yeah, so that's my one tip right there is if you're never too sure if you're trying to flow a bit, just grab something that they're talking about that you're familiar with, and even if it's off track. If like say like we were talking and you mentioned like a hamburger, I'm like, "Oh man, I just had a great hamburger like over here today," because you never know what that opens up.
Yeah.
Because next thing you know, you might be like, oh, my dad owns that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like you never know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
sometimes in the beginning, I used to be so nervous that I literally wasn't hearing anything they were saying, and I was focusing on the next question. Yeah. So it's a skill.
Yeah. Well,
I'm learning.
Props to you for doing something that you just get that kind of, because the people that get that kind of nerves before they do something, they wouldn't keep doing it.
that's where the fun in it is. You just
That's
keep doing
bravery
it,
for
and
me.
you're like, man, I did it. Let me do another one. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's like a thrill.
It's like weird. It's like right. It's like that feeling you get when you're in line for a roller coaster, huh?
I don't do roller coasters, bro. But
Well, then that's the feeling.
it's true though, because I've been on one and I was like nervous as hell, and like the 10 minutes in line felt like an hour.
Yeah.
So yes,
It's kind of like you're like, oh fuck, like fuck. Why am I doing this? Fuck. Like, and then you get on, and you're like, fuck, and then you get to the drop, you're like, no, and then you drop, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then after done, you're like, that was fucking dope.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But the entire time you're like dreading.
yes,
It's exactly what it is.
yes, true.
And I think but honestly, that's why I do it as well too, though. You know, because like there's that cliche in life where it's like if you're scared of this, if you're scared of that of choice, you should probably do it because it's probably good for you.
It's true. That's
Yeah.
exactly with me on my first review I did.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're rolling in. It was actually my buddy Bloom. He's one of the first ones I heard locally. 2008, I was like a sophomore, and he shot me this song, and I was like, it was called Illy Headsets, and I was like, this is amazing. This song is as good as the guys on the radio, and this could be on the radio. And that's when I was like, wow, you know, locals can make just as good music.
Yeah, you know who's doing that for me right now?
Who?
He's from Paso as well. He was on. I found him through D Banks' album, and I was going through it, and it was it was going through the album, and I got to that song that he's on, and I'm like, whoa, this song is tight. Like the song felt like a song that would be in a Spotify playlist, you know, because it had that vibe, it had that like.
I hear a lot of those locally.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this song, I feel like because I kind of forgot it was on D Banks' album because of this like vibe of this song, and I'm like, yo, this song, and I texted D Banks, I'm like, yo, this song right here, I'm like, I feels like I felt like I was on a Spotify playlist, like on.
Is that the one you were telling me about earlier that you like so much? Your favorite one?
I don't know. I'll get if
Okay.
I did. I don't know. I don't know who I told you. It probably is.
Okay.
Because he's the only one right now that I've been listening to a lot. Because also he's coming on the show. And his name is forgive me, dude, if I picked this up. I know it's Deja Vu, but it's FR Deja Vu. Do you know who that is?
I've never heard of him.
FR
You putting
Deja
me
Vu.
on to someone, bro.
He's on on Havoc. The song called Havoc on D Banks' album.
Okay.
And I was listening to it, and I'm like, yo, who is this kid? And I looked at the list, and it was said his name and D Banks, and I was like, and so I went to his stuff on Spotify, and he just dropped an album too, and I was listening to him, I'm like, yo, this shit slaps. It slapped. I'm like, yo, like, and it's like my type of vibe music too. You know what I mean? Like, cause I like more like Ty Dolla $ign type vibes. You know what I mean? Like real
turn.
like it's a vibe, a little turn up.
Nice voice, singing voice.
A little bit of singing. You know what I mean? Some rapping. I like that shit when like basically like when a girl comes over, like you can just throw it on, like set the mood, like, but it's a vibe. You know what I mean? It's not like so it's like that type of music that he was making, and I'm like, oh, and like the quality, everything about it, I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, yo, this shit is hot. Like. It's hot as fuck. Like I'm like, who is this kid? And then I looked him up on Instagram. Honestly, I thought he was gonna be like big as fuck. Like I thought he was gonna be popping like all over. And I went, and I was like, whoa, like no one knows about this kid. What the hell? I gotta get him on the show. Like
happens a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta get him on the show because I think he's 18 now, but he might be 17. So he's young too. And I'm like, yo, this kid like.
It makes you want to put them out there, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do with a lot of artists. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because you're like, dude, people need to hear this shit.
Yeah,
like, this
yeah.
shit is hot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll show you some of it after the show. But yeah, he's coming on too, so I'm excited to meet him. Like, I'm low-key kind of like fanboying out. I'm like,
that's cool.
I'm excited to meet this kid.
Yeah, definitely. That's dope.
He's going hard. Yeah, you have to check him out too. I'll show you that.
I will. I'll check out Havoc. Yeah. I've heard D Bank's album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Havoc, and then his name is FR like period Deja Vu. So I just been calling him Deja Vu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like supposed to be said together, so I'm not too sure right now. But I'll find that out when I'm sitting with him on Tuesday.
Okay. Where at back
he's
at
coming
your
to the
spot?
studio, yeah.
Okay.
He's in Paso, so it's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Because when you get to this point, it's more like 3 hours. From there, it's more like, I think it cuts like almost like 40 minutes off, so it's almost just like 2 hours.
Okay.
So it's not
that's not bad at all.
Paso, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was dope for me. Who are some of the ones that you're kind of hot on right now?
Local artists that I'm really big on?
Yeah.
You know, I probably don't want to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't want to pick any favorites or anything like that.
See, that's why I framed it. I'm not trying to say favorites. I'm just saying someone like you're listening to, that you're currently kind of like intaking, like for review purposes and stuff.
Okay.
You know, not more of like a top 3, more of like a who are you just like taking in right now, you know?
Yeah, I got a lot of artists, man. I have like 100 on my list, you know. But right now, Sosi, have you ever heard of Sosi?
Mm-mm.
He sings.
I haven't heard most of the local.
Yeah. He sings, raps, he produces his music, he engineers. He just dropped a little 4-song EP. It's not out yet, but for his real supporters, he shot it to us.
Okay.
Another dude that's like, you should be on the radio, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
Amazing voice, amazing singing voice. He can rap. Very Rare. That's the studio right here. Bones is from Very Rare. King Trip, the one you're gonna interview as well. Bizzo the Hustler. They're all very good. Stick Gang. That's Diallo, Shada Mac, June. Who else is on there? All good.
Okay.
Those are all the people on my list right now. Yeah.
Dope. Oh yeah, another one. What was it? Roberts, the kid. Amari Roberts. I just A. Roberts. I didn't know what it's for, but
Amari Roberts.
So tell me about that. Like, how'd you even find him? How'd you start interviewing him? And then he got onto the radio, right?
Yeah,
how'd that come about too?
That was wild. So Amari and Lompoc, we kind of all know each other.
Okay.
So I know his uncles, his parents. He has 3 very talented uncles, so I guess it runs in the family. But his song started circulating on Facebook. I was like, let me check this out. I heard it and I was like, he flows and has lyrics as good as these grown men. You know, I was shocked. So as soon as I heard that, I hit him up for an interview. I was like, I got to get this kid an interview. And then after that, I got him some studio time, a music video, and I posted that interview, a little snippet where he kind of freestyles.
Yeah.
I posted it on my page. I've been trying to get a hold of this radio station for months to try to see what I could work out to get artists on there. They finally reached back because I think it's because he's so young and he's so talented.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is good or something. I was like, we should get him on the show. They sent me a message, and within 3 weeks, he was on the radio.
Wow.
So he helped me build that connection as well with the radio station that I've been trying to fill.
Wow.
That kid's very good. He just needs.
I listened to that. I was like, damn,
He needs.
You're right. He has like a mature flow to him.
He needs someone to invest in him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How old is he?
15.
15. Man, these young kids are talented.
I kept calling him 14. I think when I first heard about him, he was 14, so I kept saying 14. He's like, I'm 15. I was like, all right, my bad, bro. It's a big deal when you're that age, you know?
When you're that age,
yeah.
Those ages, but I think you stop caring when you get to like 20, 21 maybe. You just kind of like, I think 21, because then you stop caring about it. It's like, oh, you can drink? All right, don't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
You can drink at like 20.
It's a big deal for him, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, and then he's like, you don't have to put 15-year-old rapper every time. I'm like, bro, it's about the views and stuff. People, when they see 15-year-old rapper, they're gonna be on it.
Yeah, when you get to a certain stature, we'll stop saying. When you get to 16, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get to 16, it's like,
he's serious about it though. He's like, I just want to be my own man. You know, I don't want to be classified as the 15-year-old rapper.
That sounds like he has
I get it. He has a good head on his shoulders. Absolutely.
Because that's something like I probably wouldn't think about as 15.
Yeah, exactly. He's serious about it.
Right. That's pretty dope.
And he records off of his phone.
Okay.
He writes all his own music. No one helps him. It's amazing.
Wow. How does he get the beats?
YouTube probably.
YouTube beats.
I'm sure he doesn't buy them.
Free nonprofit.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So if he had someone invest in him, that kid, he'll be going somewhere for sure.
That's pretty cool that you did that for him though, because it's like, you know, who else would?
I'm really about the kids more than anything. And I'd like to open a nonprofit studio, kind of where like the government sends you a check and you get people in there in the studio. There's a lot of gang stuff going on in my town. Mm-hmm. And music is the only thing I've seen bring enemies together. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So if I could get a studio, nonprofit, they don't have to pay to come in my city, that would help a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's really all about the kids and connecting them and breaking that barrier with the gangs and stuff. Mm-hmm. So when I heard him, I had to pick him up right away.
Right. Yeah, I think Chance the Rapper came out of like a studio like that.
Did he? A nonprofit?
Out of Chicago, there was a studio. I think one of his programs or something like that. I think it was like So they would get together. It was kind of like what you're talking about, and chance became chance through that.
Exactly. That's my main goal.
Yeah.
I got to start researching how to get a nonprofit studio, but I know they have them at the Boys and Girls Club. My daughter actually
Yeah,
made.
see, I think that's what it was. That chance. It was a boys
Okay,
and,
it's called Notes for Notes or something. But yeah, they brought my daughter in there. She made a song with the guitar and stuff. But I think it's great to get kids off the street. I've always wanted to help people. I always say, like, when I first out of high school, I was like, I want to be a psychologist, counselor, all that stuff. Not for me.
Yeah.
So when I found music, I was like, I can help people do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. That's why I'm so positive about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, trying to create so it is an outlet.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I would like to be. Have you ever seen Latin Beast or Neighborhood Music or any of that?
Mm-mm.
Latin Beast is like an Instagram platform. They have like anywhere between 10,000 and 50,000 followers. I think maybe more. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, underground artists pay them a little bit of money to put them on there, but it gets them mass exposure. So I plan to get to that level where mainstream companies can come look for underground artists for me, and that could be their outlet.
Yeah.
So I just plan to be an outlet, but everybody's like, why don't you expand outside of the 805? I wanted to put my people on first in the 805 before I did that. So I want to create an outlet for the 805. So if I do go outside of the 805, my 805 people will always have free promo for me.
Right. Okay.
If I blow up. So, you know.
Makes sense. So it's like you're trying to become a platform for people to like
create an outlet. Yep. Because we have way too much talent.
Yeah.
A lot of these artists are better than the mainstream artists, and it's kind of frustrating.
I mean, Deja Vu.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
He's from Paso, D Banks. Yeah, Central Coast. That's dope because it's funny. It's funny that you're saying this because our head kind of works. It's the same because like you wanted to counselor and stuff. I got my degree in psychology. So I wanted to do the same thing. I went and got the degree and stuff. And which I still kind of might want to do. I kind of might want to be like an academic advisor or a college counselor in that some way to help people out with their education and like help them through the journey and stuff. But I remember I kind of wanted to be just like a counselor, you know. And I took my first intro to counseling class. This was like my senior year, so I was already in too deep. And we learned about like counseling theory. We had to do like mock counseling sessions where like one person's the counselor, one's the counselee, and then you flip roles and record it. Kind of like what we're doing now, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of it. But we had to do all that, and I remember like I went through the whole entire class, and I'm like, dang, like to do that every day, like taking in everyone's problems, and
it'll affect you.
It's
for sure.
like, and also too in that sense, like as a counselor, you can't really like give anything like you can't give advice, you can't really share your experiences.
You gotta be professional and do it how they teach you.
Professional and just take it in and be like, you know, and like it just feels cold.
Yeah.
You know, like I know there's good counselors out there where like it just feels like it would be hard to be cold and warm at the same time.
And I'm sure a lot of them have mental issues from listening to people's problem all day.
And being burnt out.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
So I was like, I want to find a fun way, and this just came to me. Like I told you, I did some photos, so this is a fun way of helping people out.
Yeah.
Not so traditional, and you know.
Exactly. Yeah. See, and that's why that's kind of what eventually I want to move to with the podcasting thing is be like somebody that helps people like create, produce their podcasts and stuff. And eventually I would like a place like this where podcasters, they can come and like, you don't have the equipment or anything, it's just to show up and, you know, it'd be like they can record, they bring their own camera and stuff, but I'll have the mics and I'll have everything else. And
that's big too.
And people just
they can pay you a little fee to borrow your equipment because I could use that.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
if you were in my area, I'd be like, hey, bro, can I rent out all this stuff? Because I don't have any of that.
Exactly.
I got my little lab. So that's smart.
Yeah. So eventually I want to get to that space where I'm helping other people out create what they want to create.
That's what life's all about.
Yeah.
Helping other people out.
I think so too. I think that's really the key to life is.
Key to happiness too.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're gonna be at the top, you're just gonna be up there by yourself. Like, you know, you lend some hands, get up here too. I think it's like how did you say it? It's a there's like a perfect way to say it, but pretty much it's like there's enough to go around. You know, we can all eat, like really, like realistically, there's enough for everyone to eat. Like it doesn't have to be all for me or all for you or all for, you know, there's enough for everyone to eat and be.
There's some real greedy people up at top that are real lonely.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk to you about too, and this is because this is a little more mainstream right here for you. Because I only seen it, you talked about it briefly on your page. Just because it's a hot topic, and this is something. This is like, I think it became my guilty pleasure. To like, really like, just consume everything about it, and that's the all the 6ix9ine stuff. Like just because it was just so wild. You know, like, I don't know if you know, but there's like a new documentary on Hulu about the whole situation with 6ix9ine.
No, I didn't know.
That's out, full story visually. There's also a full, I think it's an 8 or 10 episode series, a podcast of the whole 6ix9ine thing and, you know, all that stuff. And so it's something I kind of followed a lot. You know what I mean? I was always kind of like the ironic viewer. You know, I never listened to his music. I've listened to some of it, and I'm like, I don't like his music.
Yeah.
But like the whole story, everything that was going on, it's just like, it really intrigued me.
It's
and
pretty
I was always,
juicy.
like, the ironic listener, like, kind of like when you watch a reality show, you're like, oh, I'd be different or whatever. You try to stand on a high ground. But then eventually, like, after I watched the documentary and I've consumed everything else about him and stuff, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? At this point, like, the hours I've spent, like, listening and taking in all the headlines and really just, like, really reading about it and caring about it. And, like, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm a 6ix9ine fan. Like, I've been, like, trying to, like, keep myself from saying it, but I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm just not going to deny it no more. I don't listen to his music, though. I don't like it. But his, like, everything, I'm like,
He puts on, like, a show for social media, so I think that's what you're a fan of.
And, like, it's not, like, something I love about him, but there's something there that he understands. And that I feel like we as content creators can take from. You know, not necessarily like all the antics and stuff, but there is something there to learn. You know, because the rise is insane. So it's like, how did he do it?
He trolled himself all the way to the top, literally.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's what I'm trying to think. Is there a way to do it, but not quite like him? But is there a way to do it? You know what I mean? Like what is it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be known as a troll, you know?
No.
Yeah.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you hear what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's smart. He literally trolled himself. You know how he started, right? Well, you said you're a fan. You know how he started, right?
With the AIDS and all that.
Yeah, the AIDS shirts and stuff. He literally trolled himself to the top.
That's crazy.
And makes fun of himself, and, you know, it's crazy.
There's a thing about being polarizing that is helps you. You know? And I think that's where taking a stance comes in play.
Yeah.
You know, because once you take a stance, it does kind of divide people. You know, like if you stand here, then you can't stand over here type of thing.
Exactly.
And we've actually gotten that way. We've gotten that way too aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like why can't I not stand over here now too? You know?
Yeah, no, it's bad right now.
Like we're real. What's the word? I don't know why nuisance. It's not nuisance. It's like the. What is it called? We're nuance. There we go. We're nuanced beings.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I don't know where I was going with that. I just had to vent it out.
Yeah. That you're 6ix9ine fan.
That was exactly.
You just had to air it out for y'all guys.
What did you think about it? How'd you take the whole thing? Especially as a person, like, kind of within the music field. I'm not. You know what I mean? So I'm like.
You know what's crazy about that? I'm so consumed in my platform and stuff now, I don't listen to mainstream or pay attention.
Mm.
But it was definitely interesting. Like, I'd go to his Instagram and see what he had going on and stuff.
Right.
It was definitely interesting.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I don't pay attention to mainstream at all too much.
Mm. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, you kind of it's like all consuming, huh?
Yeah.
Underground now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of it.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there isn't for everything. You know, there's always a community for everything, like underground podcasts, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I figure, I'm like, why do I go give them some more views when they have billions when I can go listen to my dude that sounds just as good as someone mainstream?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that you had questions for me at all or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just making sure, because I don't like to have people on the show and they might have a question that we never got to.
Yeah.
Well, we're already at the hour mark here, so how I like to end the show here is I like to just hand over the mic and have you an uninterrupted time on the mic. It's kind of like your last words, whatever you want to say, whether it's a message to the people, a message to your future self. You know, I've seen that. But whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say, it's the closing. After you hand it back, I'll go ahead and end the show for you.
I don't have much to say. I want to say I appreciate you. When you reached out to me, I was like, you want me on your podcast? Why? You know? So I really appreciate it. This is dope. The first time being in front of the camera. So you kind of paved a way for me to be more comfortable in front of the camera in the future. And I think that's pretty big. But I think what you're doing is dope. Sitting down, just talking to people. We have a lot of the same views, helping other people out. I think it's amazing what you're doing. Shout out to the 805, all the underground artists for supporting me, and much love.
Mm-hmm. That has been AudicyVisuals, everybody. Again, you can find her on Instagram, AudicyVisuals. Nothing else. None of that _637 /
Let's tell them how you spell Odyssey, because I kind of have a play on Odyssey. It's AUDICY, and then it's VISUALS.
Okay, cool.
So Odyssey is spelled a little different. It's actually a mix of Odyssey, which is like a journey, and Audacity. So.
Yeah. See, I'm glad you didn't tell me to spell it.
Yeah.
Because I spell Audacity. I go into Audacity. I'm like, whoa.
It looks like Audacity. So people you kind of just put that in your brain that it's Audacity. So yeah.
But yeah, that's Audacity. Oh, Audacity Visuals, AudicyVisuals. I hope you enjoyed this episode. But until next week, I'll see you guys later. Peace.